Florence Scovel Shinn, right, was actually a metaphysical teacher. She talks about spirituality, in other words, all things spiritual. She talks about them in the 20th century. The book is based on, as I said, leveling up and knowing the game of life, but using spiritual principles for you to be able to actually play the game of life well, because there are laws and rules in the game, like any other game, right? So she says that the word of God, the Bible at the time, because you must remember that she's born and bred in a very religious period of life, okay? So we basically, being a Christian, she kind of figured out the way we should be living life by using Christian principles. And this is not a religious channel, and I'm not a religious person. I'm more spiritual, right? But I can understand what Florence Scovel Shinn was actually out to do. She's trying to teach people to use the basic things that are there, like the Bible. What does the Bible teach you? How to be respectful, how to show up, how to be careful, how you treat other people, all the basic laws, you can say, right? Also connected with, for example, the law of oneness. You must understand that when what you do to the other, you do to yourself. What you do to the self, you do to the other as well, because we are collectively connected. So that's where the law of oneness comes into play, right? So how you play the game of life, you must understand that what you do affects everybody else around you. Okay, that's one of Florence Scovel Shinn's perceptions and concepts, okay, in her book. So she wrote a sequel called Your Word is Your Wand, which is actually a sequel to The Game of Life and How to Play It. So yeah, she speaks and she zones in onto the affirmations you can use on your day-to-day basis to actually manifest a better experience in your life, right? So basically, I'll give you a rundown what the book is all about, basically, okay? Your spoken word is the wand. So you are constantly wielding spells with your words. What you say to yourself and you say to others, you're actually wielding some spells out there, right? You're creating certain things because your words are coming from your frequency. Your words are directly linked to who you are. Okay, like for example, somebody who's kind and loving will not have hateful words to say because they're coming, their source, their foundation, their fountain is kindness and love, okay? Basically, that's what she was trying to say, right? So be careful of your words. The words that you're using on a constant basis will give you a picture of the condition of your heart and your consciousness. So this is what she was actually trying to say as well. So your word is your wand. It creates, it's a directive power that creates, right? That's what it does. It's the directive power that creates. So what you're saying about other people, you actually creating it into your own reality, and people don't understand that. When you say bad things or good things to other people, you're actually blessing them, right? But you're also blessing yourself, not only them, because it's a frequency. It's like a ricochet experience. You understand? It's like a ricochet experience because of the law of oneness. Makes it a ricochet experience when you say certain things to certain people. You say it to yourself. When you bless other people, you're blessing yourself. When you're cursing other people, you are cursing yourself, basically, right? So the core principles of the book is all about the power of the word, faith and feeling manifestation, faith and feeling manifestations, law of substitution. Okay, I use the word of the law of substitution quite often, right? But anyway, I'm gonna now break down these three concepts that I mentioned now, right? I said the spoken word, right? Firstly, the power of the spoken word. She says that words are vibrational, okay? They go forth and create accordingly to their frequency, right? Your frequency, the word of encouragement creates an energy of encouragement. Okay, that's the frequency. The word of cursing somebody else and putting them down. Hi, thank you. Hi, you said hi, auntie. I'm Susian. Anyway, thank you for joining my live. I think you Slayer 69. Thank you for joining my live. I know what your real name is, but anyway, thank you for joining my live. Today we're speaking about the word. We're talking about the book that Florence Scovel wrote, a sequel to that book that's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Okay, so when you want to better yourself, it's about you getting the information Now, books like what Florence Scovel Shinn has written, right back in the 1940s, right? She knew the principles of life were actually created by our words, right? So she used to help a lot of people because she was not only an author, she was also a spiritual teacher, and she used to actually counsel people and help them with their issues and their problems by simply using basic concepts like speaking the word into people's lives with positivity. You understand? It was all in your mind because you create your reality in your mind, right? So it's about she knew that. So she used to teach people that as well in the 1940s, and she wrote books about it. Okay, so I said that the power of the words. I'm breaking down the book now, right? It's a small book. It's about I think about 10 chapters or something like that, right? So the first part, she says the power of the word, the spoken word, right? It's a vibrational force, as I said, and it creates something because there's a frequency, right? What you constantly declare on a day-to-day basis to yourself and to others becomes your reality.